How do we know if we can trust the people that we watch online? How can we be absolutely sure that they haven't just been bought out by a company, or they haven't decided to compromise their own morals just so they can make an extra buck? Nowadays, we go online for basically all the advice that we need. This year, YouTube became the #1 streaming platform, period. It is the place people go to watch content. And so the trust that we place in strangers online with unknown motives has just gone up exponentially over the last 10 years. This is a big business now. And the truth is that people like me, people who are creators and are making videos online, are incentivized to do the wrong thing. Our two major metrics will probably go up if we do the wrong things, if we mislead, if we speak inaccurately, if we tell white lies, if we push the boundaries as much as possible, we're probably gonna get more views and make more money. And so the people that do that the best and ride that line as closely as possible without necessarily putting a toe over are typically the biggest, most successful, richest creators out there. And for the next 15 minutes, I'll explain exactly why that is. And then I'm gonna go over all the different ways that I understand that people like me can make money online. And then I'll go over line by line exactly how those different ways we can make money shape our opinions. They incentivize us to be inaccurate and to exaggerate in certain ways. And so I want to call all that out for what it is. This might upset other creators, this might upset brands that want to work with me, but ultimately I want you to know the truth, and I want to be held accountable to this too. An extremely brief history of the rise of the online influencer has to start at the inflection point of social media. It went from a private community where you could talk to your friend here and there to now being a business opportunity for anybody who's got a camera or a desire to sell goods and services online. In the beginning, it was absolutely the Wild West. The FTC didn't have any rules around what you could do or not do as an influencer. You could say whatever you want, promise whatever you want, take advantage of people, tell absolute bald-faced lies, and no one was the wiser because whatever, you're just that guy on Facebook standing in front of a Lambo claiming that you read 100 books a day. Who cares? But then as regular people caught on and saw the actual opportunity that's there to be an influencer, to speak about subject matter that they know about and they care about, then they jumped in. Facebook, Vine, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, all the platforms were flooded with people who saw this opportunity and saw it as basically a gold rush. And let's be clear, not everyone's motives are just to go out and make money. It's a really cool opportunity to find a community of people who are really into the one particular thing that you're really into. Maybe you love crocheting Star Wars action figures. Maybe your absolute dream is to drive on a racetrack in Europe. There's people who make a lot of videos about those particular things, and so you can dive in now to whatever community that you love and get almost endless amounts of content about it. These were topics that couldn't be covered in traditional media to the depth that they are now because the production costs were so high you couldn't warrant a show all about crocheting Star Wars action figures. But now you can because Susie does it in her back bedroom. But the rise couldn't last for forever because eventually enough people got taken advantage of and lied to and misled that there had to be rules put in place. There had to be some accountability here. The FTC has very specific rules and guidelines now for endorsements, influencers, and reviews. Anytime that someone has a material connection with a brand online, they need to disclose that. And a material connection is defined as a personal, family, employment relationship, or financial relationship. We're required now to make that hard to miss. We have to disclose this in a way that's obvious to you. We can't bury it in links or bury it in a big block of text. You need to be able to see this and find it so that that's very clear to you. But it's not just the government that's caught on and realized that these kind of scams have happened or this kind of misleading has gone on that's required these kinds of rules to come about. We as viewers and consumers of this content have gotten wiser. We can sniff out when somebody's doing some kind of a paid ad. We notice it whenever they make a random video about this very specific product that seems to only say positive things. But now I want to reveal all the different ways that I'm aware of influencers' ability to make money and how those ways can shape us in the wrong direction. They can incentivize us to compromise our morals and make worse content for you because the odds are we're going to make more money if we do it that way. I've got 7 different ways to share how we can make money, but I realize there's more. Then after that, I'll share how we're also incentivized to just make content that taps into the human psyche in the most negative ways. The first way content creators and influencers can possibly make money is sponsorships. I almost never get these, but it's typically when a company pays you a fee up front to create a video, create a piece of content for them, an Instagram post, whatever it is. And in my own experience, there's 2 kinds of these that are the most common. Number 1, it's an ad read. It's an integration. It's like a commercial just plopped in the middle of a video that says, hey, this is sponsored by Squarespace or NordVPN. And the creator just reads a 30 to 60 second long salesy script about the brand or the product. Then it's over and you get back to the video. The second kind is when the whole piece of content exists because a brand asked asked for it and they paid for it. An example of this where the creator disclosed it really well is this video by Jesse Driftwood where he does a paid product showcase. He says right up front, I'm making this video for money, but I'm not going to give a review on it because this is just a showcase. I'm just touring what it can do. The way a brand isolates a particular creator to work with and send a big fat check to is they look for someone who has an audience demographic that matches the kind of demographic that should want to buy this product or service. And typically the big brands work with the bigger creators because the bigger brand has a bigger budget, the bigger creator has a larger audience and a bigger reach. They're probably also just better at their job. They make better content, and so they naturally marry up well. A smaller brand typically has a much smaller advertising budget, and so they'll work with smaller creators. Smaller meaning less viewership, less subscribers, less followers. And oftentimes the way that a floor is set for how much someone actually gets paid for a sponsorship is just based on the expected number of views they'll get for this piece of content. The way that's calculated is a dollar figure per 1,000 views. So for example, if the product and the demographic made sense to pay someone a $30 fee for every 1,000 views they got, and they expected the creator to give them something like 250,000 views, they would probably offer them $7,500 to make this video for them. There are other factors that can play into an ad rate, but that's kind of the common one. Sponsorships for a creator, I think, are one of the most difficult areas of income to accept while remaining actually objective. Typically, when a brand comes to you to do this, it's because they want you to say something very specific. They want you to be very positive. They'll sometimes feed you an actual script or at least talking points they want you to hit in the video. These are the most controlled pieces of content when it comes to a brand being involved with a content creator. But one of the tricky parts about a sponsorship is that you're incentivized to make it feel like it's not a sponsorship, to go actually against the guidelines that are put out by the FTC, because you don't want to put people off who are watching your videos. They can sniff out an infomercial. You don't want it to feel like an infomercial. You want it to feel like it's just a natural part of the video, like it fits. And so there are people who will craft an entire video just to be able to slot the sponsorship in the middle of it and make it feel like it's not really a sponsorship. My rule for the rest of all time making videos for you here online is if I wasn't already going to make a video about this thing, I don't need to be sponsored for it. If they want to cut me a check, then I can move that topic that was already on my list up higher on the list and make it sooner. But if I'm not interested or allowed to be honest, the video will never happen. One way for you to sniff out if somebody has a direct contact with the brand and if they're being sponsored by them in a more direct way is if they have a custom promotion. And so that means that they have worked with the brand to develop this way for them to drive traffic through a specific link. This is actually different than an affiliate link. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Affiliate links are a unique way for creators to make money by tracking the traffic of their viewers through the internet. So it works like this. Let's say you watched a video and I reviewed this iPad case. I said, this is really great. I bought it on Amazon. There's a link in the description for you to be able to buy a similar iPad case. I think you probably should go check it out. So you say, yeah, I want to buy that iPad case. You go to the link, and because you've clicked on my link that drives you to Amazon, they track that. They know that you were sent there by Brendan. And even if you don't end up buying this exact thing, maybe you buy some underwear or some chlorine tablets, I can still get paid for that because I drove the traffic to Amazon. Affiliate income is like being responsible for the root of the sale. There's a bunch of different ways that influencers and creators can have affiliate links. Some brands directly have their own, like their actual brand or their service will have their own way of doing that. Amazon is a very common way of doing this. And now more recently, platforms themselves have built in their own affiliate system. So YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, they all just do this seamless job of teeing up products for you to buy. And if the creator linked it all correctly, they get a small cut of that sale. How much money are we talking? Well, in my experience, the most common cut that you would get from an affiliate link is between 1 and 5% of the sale value, but that can vary just hugely. Sometimes whenever we're talking about a service and not a product itself, you might get like a flat rate. So you might get $30 or $50 or $100 per referral as long as someone completes the desired action. So in my case, let's say I recommend an investing service to you. I'd say, hey, you should really invest with Axe.com because they're the best way for you to buy stocks. Go invest with them now. If you start an account with them and you deposit money into it and you make your first investment, I might get $30 or $50 or something like that. But one big differentiator between affiliate income and sponsorships is that you can be not sponsored by the brand, but still get paid by the brand. Whenever you're sponsored, it's a much more tailored, hand-in-hand, relational type thing that you have going on with the brand, where affiliate income can just be totally like software driven. So you could sign up for an affiliate program and get a custom link and drive traffic to that brand's website, all while never having talked to that brand. They don't even know who you are. You're just one other URL out there in the internet that's driving sales to them. And because of that separation, affiliate income is less corrupt than sponsorships are, but it still can be pretty corrupt. It's really nice to not have a brand tell you what to do. It's great that a creator can make the content that they want to make without the brand having direct oversight or having to review the video for approval or anything like that, because they might demand that stuff with a sponsorship. With affiliate income, I can talk about whatever brand I want and put an affiliate link in a description, and maybe I say there's 10 negative things about this and you shouldn't buy it, and you want to go buy it anyway. I have that level of autonomy with affiliate links that I might not have with a sponsorship. But even so, affiliate links can corrupt and shape and negatively impact the kind of content that we make. Because if you think about it, the more sales that I drive towards that product, the more people who come to an affiliate link with a positive mentality, like they want this thing, the better odds I stand of making money. And so if I made negative reviews all the time and I put affiliate links in there, I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot because my goal is to make a paycheck here, right? So what affiliate income does then is it shapes us towards making videos about things that we either genuinely like, because I would rather make a positive review about something like this SSD drive reader or this great Logitech mouse or whatever else in my life that I've liked and enjoyed using, and I'm less incentivized to make truthful negative reviews about things that haven't really worked out well for me. Like this $70 memory card reader that just stopped working randomly. I don't know why. It's got great reviews, but it completely stopped working for me. If I make a negative review about this, calling it out for what it is, which is potentially an unreliable piece of hardware, I don't get an affiliate commission for someone not buying this. I only get one if they do buy something. So not only might creators only pick and choose the products that they really genuinely like, if they're incentivized well enough and if the affiliate program is strong enough, they might just tell you lies and say that they like stuff or gloss over the problems of things that they don't like just to give you some kind of a positive review on something so that they can make more money off of it. This is an obvious problem. Anytime I see someone talking about a product and it's all positive things, there's no negatives, there's no downsides, then I immediately have my little radar go up and I go, this just isn't accurate. There's got to be a downside. There's got to be something about this that's not perfect, because if it's perfect, I smell a rat. And speaking of rats, let's talk about products that are sold directly by the creators. The third source of income from online creators and influencers can be digital products. These are often self-made, self-owned things that the creator themselves has put together, or maybe they've had a team put together for them, and then they sell them through their social media channels. They might promote them in videos. They might just have a link in the description for it. This is something that I do. I have digital templates and finance stuff that you can get for free, or you can donate through the platform that I have that's hosting them. It's called Gumroad. I have an investing course that teaches you the critical things about the stock market in like a single afternoon. I'm confident in the things that I've made because I put a lot of time into them. Like that course took me 400 hours to make. It was a huge pain, and I've made like $1,200 from it. And so that means my hourly pay rate is $3 an hour before taxes so far. But I say so far because the beautiful thing for a creator about digital products is that we can make them one time and then they can create sales over and over for forever. So we have no inventory, we have no people to manage, it just goes. It just does its own thing. But this can negatively shape the way that we make content too, because just like that, I just talked about my own thing for a while. You didn't necessarily come here to see a commercial about me talk about the things that I've made digitally. You wanted to know what the video was about. Unless the video is called How I Made a Digital Class, you don't really care. And so we're probably making worse content whenever we're talking about our own stuff that we're trying to sell you. Plus, this is assuming that the actual thing that we're selling is worthwhile, is truthful, is backed by something that's actually worth putting your trust in, because there's a lot of online courses and communities and templates and things out there that are either not valuable at all because they're just a waste of time, or they could be an outright scam. And so my typical rule of thumb for this kind of thing is if somebody's got some kind of guarantee, like you're going to make money in your first sale doing print on demand guaranteed. I don't know how they can guarantee that because it doesn't make any sense to me. There's no way that you can guarantee a very specific outcome for somebody, even though all the sales books say that you should do that kind of thing. And so if the course or the community or the template or whatever it is sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's another case of we are incentivized to deceive. The more we deceive and we put this positive spin and this frosting over what something really is, the more likely we are to make sales. And that is not great. The fourth way creators and influencers and people can make money is from ad revenue directly from the platform itself. This is where the YouTubes of the world, Instagram, TikTok, whoever, they have their own ad relationship with big brands like Budweiser or P&G or whoever wants to put little commercials on the actual platform themselves. They talk to the platform directly. So if you ever see an ad on my YouTube channel or an ad during this video, it's not like I had a relationship with Nike or whoever is playing that ad for you. That is from YouTube, and YouTube is making a bunch of money doing this. They're the ones that are orchestrating all of that and selling the value of that to these big brands directly. But as a thank you for creating this content on which they can play those ads, the platforms will will share some of that revenue with the creators. Basically, every platform kind of sucks at doing this except for YouTube as of right now, because YouTube actually shares a portion of that revenue with creators, and so that's why it's the most popular platform for people to go and use and try and monetize natively on the platform itself. But what this means as far as how it's negatively shaping the content and negatively shaping our experience as viewers is that it incentivizes creators to just draw us in and try and maximize the amount of time that we spend on the platform. How can I somehow hook you in to make you watch as long as possible? How sensationalized and ridiculous and outlandish can I make a video so that you don't want to turn away? And maybe that's longer drawn out content. Maybe that's trying to link together a series of videos so that you don't want to get up and do something else. YouTube and Instagram and all these platforms do a lot to try and kind of seamlessly transition you from content to content so that you just end up falling in this deep hole for an hour or two and you wake up out of it and you go, oh my gosh, I've been on TikTok for frickin' 4 hours. I don't even know what happened. That's what they want. The more ads you see, the better it is for them. The fifth way creators and influencers can make money is just from selling physical products. Maybe it's merch or candy or other products that they develop themselves. And this is a more obvious one, but it's got a defined good side and a defined bad side. The bad side is obviously that then we're just shills. We're saying like, hey, you should buy the Brendan Evan branded axe because I helped develop this thing and I'm convinced it's the perfect axe. And so if you buy it, then you get a great axe and it helps me out. Again, nobody wants to watch a commercial. So that kind of sucks and it makes our content worse. The positive side of this can be that if you're really interested in whatever that person is creating, and let's say they custom make you a something, like Simone Gertz made a folding hanger and she made a really cool like life tracker calendar. The woman makes some really cool stuff. And because it's YouTube and because it's somebody like that who's so unique, you can't find that really anywhere else, as far as I'm aware. And so the positive thing is that you can engage in this community that you really like. You can have unique stuff. Like this duct tape that I have is from a car channel called Mighty Car Mods. They're these Australian guys who make car videos, and I just think that they're hilarious. And I bought Cheryl's big mystery box from them, which is a bunch of stickers and keychains and tape and just silliness. But I like them enough and wanted to associate with them enough to have their branded stuff physically in my house. So I bought some. Something like this is pretty easy to avoid and not be a part of if you don't want to. Similarly, it goes for number 6, which is any kind of physical in-person event or calls or consulting or something like that where you have direct contact with somebody. This is much rarer for the online world because typically we're all behind a computer screen and you just see us on video somewhere. But it technically is another revenue stream for people and they could do this. In my opinion, this one, similar to the previous one, probably has an equal pro and con. The con is that the content is full of commercials and ads for their own stuff, which is really annoying, but the pro is that you have an opportunity to connect with people and that's pretty decent. And then the final way that people can make money online being a creator or an influencer is basically any way that they can conceive of it if they're big enough. If you have enough of an audience, you have a tremendous amount of power right now. There are people who have their own streaming platforms. They're not even on YouTube or TikTok or whatever anymore. They have their own. People can make their own video games or their own pieces of video games. Like Dude Perfect just came out with an island on Fortnite, whatever that means. This is big business stuff. This has taken over huge sectors potentially if they want to. And at that point, the way that the revenue actually happens gets pretty murky. How exactly is someone paid to be a part of a video game? I have no idea. How exactly is that going to shape the videos they make? It's difficult to say. They're probably going to talk only positively about it because they're financially motivated to talk positively about it. But the exact way that that works is going to be on a case-by-case basis. But regardless of how the creator or the influencer makes money, we're still largely incentivized to make two kinds of videos that trigger the human psyche to paying attention. And the first form of that is we're incentivized to sensationalize, doom and gloom, break down, and otherwise be negative about stuff, especially when it's in hindsight. Whenever someone calls out a scam in hindsight and points the finger at people, it taps into our human fear because we say, wow, I wonder if I'm a part of a scam. Or wow, I'm so angry because that person has scammed people. Just biologically, the way that we work, we linger longer on that kind of feeling than we do on happiness. And so it taps into our deepest driver for change, which is fear of death and pain and otherwise not having a good life. And what that does is it sets up the next incentive system. The other form of content that we're incentivized to make is overly positive content, stuff that inflates and froths over and promotes and exaggerates the positive sides of things. Oh, don't do that terrible thing over there. Don't be a part of that scam. Instead, buy my course. Instead, buy this lovely duct tape from these wonderful Australian men because this will make you happy, unlike that terrible stuff over there. When we only talk about the positives and how things are so wonderful and we gloss over any problems or specifics or any nuance, we're probably more likely to make sales. And I think the reason for that is specifics and nuance are boring. You probably don't want to watch a video that says any old duct tape will work. No, you want to watch the one that says the best duct tape in the world. I tested 10 different brands. A video with too much nuance is just boring. But the answer to so many questions in life is actually just 2 words. It depends. Maybe we go to the doctor with some kind of ailment and we want a very specific treatment and we say, all right, doctor, what do I do? And she says, well, It depends. Depends on your allergies, your age, your pre-existing medical conditions, the goals you have for your life and your body, your insurance or lack thereof, so many different things. We go online seeking out the best investing method. How do I invest to make the most money? Well, the truth is, it depends. Depends on your risk tolerance, on how much money you have, on the reason you have for investing, on the rest of your life situation, on so many things. We all get sick of our job, and so maybe we want to look at the best business to start to make money fast without taking up a lot of time and money to start. How do I start a business fast without a lot of money? Well, depends. Depends on what you know. Depends on who you know, what kind of contacts you have. Depends on where you are in the world. It depends on what you're already good at, and it depends on what you're willing to learn. So many things. So in some ways, creators can't make videos that say it depends, because no one would watch them, and creators would make way less money. Or at least that was the sentiment. But my hope is, and my thought process is, that maybe times have changed. I'm seeing more and more content online where people are talking about this directly. Creators are talking about the negative influence that a brand has, trying to shape their content and make it only be positive spins about things. People are calling out ridiculous press launches that wine and dine people and get them into this positive, euphoric mood before they go and review that new sports car. And every viewer on YouTube is wising up to the reality of the situation, especially if you just watch this whole video. And so we're not dummies. We understand that there's financial motives involved, and those kinds of things need to be clearly called out. An example of this is Gerald Undone. He made a video recently that made some shockwaves happen in the photography and camera world. I'm a pretty big camera nerd, and so I watch a lot of his videos and other people's camera videos because I'm fascinated. What's the best lens? What's the best camera? What's this new thing? Does it do the thing that I need? Should I buy that? And his story was really surprising. I had no idea that all this was happening behind the scenes, but he revealed a lot in this video. It sounds like a brand asked him to rename a video because he used a word that they didn't like in the title of the video, and because he was unwilling to do that, he didn't follow their rules well enough. Now, as a result, he doesn't get products to review. He doesn't get to go on cool international trips to debut new cameras and new products. And now his life and career is just made more difficult because he had enough integrity to stick to his guns and do what he wanted. Now, for him as an example, he's got enough other income sources and things that it's not a huge hit for him. But that's not the story for everyone. If someone is a smaller creator or they're just more greedy than he is, they would probably jump through all the hoops. They would play by the rules that the brand set forth and say, yes, sir, I'll do whatever you say. I'll make it look like I'm being honest, but I'm really not. I'm really a bit of a corporate puppet for you so that I can say the things that you want just in my own way so people think it's still a unique video. But in the meantime, they're maintaining the trust of the brand and the flow of all the benefits of that trust. The main one of those being the revenue stream. So what should we expect going forward? Whenever you're watching a video online or see a piece of content, what should our standard be? First of all, if there's a link involved, someone needs to disclose that it's an affiliate link. As a creator and per the FTC rules, at least in America, I don't know about all countries in the world, but in America, we're required to disclose a material connection with a brand. We're supposed to say that this is an affiliate link, that we get paid by using this link, that as a creator, Amazon is going to pay me back for essentially sending traffic to them. In some way, you need to be told, obviously, that there's a material connection between the creator and the brand. And if there's a fee involved from the brand to the creator that's responsible for that piece of content being created, or if there's a distinct ad segment in the middle of a video, somebody needs to disclose that it's sponsored by them. There's little buttons you can click whenever you upload videos to YouTube that says, this includes a paid promotion. If and when I have a sponsored video in the future where a brand approaches me and says, we want to pay you to create this content, you're going to see that I've clicked that button because at the beginning of the video, it'll come up and say, this includes paid promotion. And as time goes on and as technology evolves and these new ways that people can make money online changes, they need to be upfront about that and say whenever they've got a material connection with whoever it is, whatever the platform or the means is, they need to be open and honest about that with you so that you can factor that into your decision making. Because the goal here is that you're able to take what they're saying with the appropriately sized grain of salt. If I go on a rant for 45 minutes about how this is the best iPad case ever, and I don't tell you that I'm sponsored by Apple, and I don't tell you that the affiliate links in the description are actually affiliate links that earn me some money, then I've basically lied to you. But on the flip side, if you start the video knowing that it was a paid promotion from Apple and you say, okay, well, he's got a financial incentive to make this thing seem like it's really good, but maybe I'll watch the video anyway and see. At least that way our kind of radar is up and we're willing to listen a little bit more critically to see, all right, are they just blowing smoke or do they have some actual feedback on this thing too? Yeah, it's a pretty decent keyboard, but it's annoying that you have to buy this extra little metal piece that holds the Apple Pencil on because otherwise the Apple Pencil falls off, and so it's really not a complete system unless you buy this too, so they should have designed that into the case. It just makes sense. Why didn't they do that? That kind of thing. And my hope is that that kind of thing becomes the norm, that it's the expectation that people follow the rules, that the FTC has enough power to then crack down on people people who have taken advantage of folks and have taken their money, because scammers should be treated like scammers. I think the reality is that based on the way that everything's going, this industry isn't going anywhere. The democratization of media has made this situation to where anybody can make videos online and have a voice online, but that means there's a lot more voices to sort through online and determine who's actually trustworthy, who's a corporate shill, and who's an outright scammer. I didn't make this video to try and come across as an angel of honesty or somehow claim that I'm above all of this. I'm by no means above all of that. There's even ways outside of what I went through that are just subconscious motivators. Maybe creators aren't even realizing that we're doing these kinds of things, and we are. A lot of times the motive isn't malicious intent. It's just, hey, I would like to sell more widgets. I would love to sell more of my duct tape that has the little chop symbol on it, talking about me beating my friend in a race. Like, that would be fun. So I can make mistakes in the future just like anybody else. I just think that in light of recent events, it's worth talking about this and giving you the kind of perspective that I have around it to hopefully inform you a little bit and to then hold me accountable. So anybody who sees this, who subscribes and who can watch videos in the future, you can say, hey, I thought that you said you weren't going to do this. Maybe I made a sponsored video and I didn't check that little box that it's got a paid promotion included, or whatever. I did something else that doesn't make sense to you. That's not the creator I want to be. Let me know if you have any questions about this in the comments section, because I think that there's a lot of terminology involved in that, so it's kind of an awkward thing to try and define. This is exactly what a sponsorship is. That's exactly what an affiliate is, and what's the difference, and when do you need to check the box and all that stuff. This is still a changing industry too, so what's happening a year or 2 or 5 years from now might be different than what's happened in the past. So feel free to ask questions in the comments, and otherwise the secret comment word for today is tape. Even though this actually isn't very good duct tape, I feel like it doesn't tear very cleanly. Like, duct tape is supposed to tear pretty clean and straight across, and this stuff just does not. So yesterday whenever I used it, I had to cut it with a knife to get a nice clean edge. It's kind of annoying. I like how duct tape typically rips right along a line, like the grid of the fiber that's in there helps it to rip. Sorry, Mighty Car Mod brothers, this is not the highest quality stuff. Thank you very much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.